So we're going to kick things off here and start off with the AFC West and the NFC West. For the Denver Broncos, they'll be choosing from the Denver Nuggets roster. Kansas City Chiefs, they will be choosing from the Oklahoma City Thunder roster. Las Vegas Raiders will be choosing from the Sacramento Kings. The Los Angeles Clippers are going to be the team that is going to be used by the Los Angeles Chargers. Going over to the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals will be picking from the Phoenix Suns. The Los Angeles Rams will be picking from the Los Angeles Lakers. San Francisco 49ers will be picking from the Golden State Warriors. And the Seattle Seahawks will be picking from the Portland TRAILBLAZERS. So starting off with the Denver Nuggets, from what I have, it looks like their roster would be composed of players on the offensive side of the ball from the NBA. So first we have tackle Mason Plumlee at 6'11", 254 pounds. Nikola Jokic, we have him as one of the guards at 7 foot, 284 pounds. We're going to put Paul Millsap in as a left tackle at 6'7", 257 pounds. Jamal Murray, Blue Arrow, at 6'4", 215 pounds. We're going to assign him a position as a running back. Gary Harris, 6'4", 210. He'll be one of the wide receivers. Also, another wide receiver will be Will Barton at 6'5", 181 pounds. So the Broncos, doesn't look like they're going to be drafting anyone from the defensive standpoint. Looks like they're going to beef up the offensive line with the players they will be adding in this mock draft. After the Denver Broncos, we move on to your Kansas City Chiefs. The reigning Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. And let's take a look at what we will have as far as their quote-unquote fantasy supplemental draft from the NBA. Looks like they're going to be more on the offensive side of the ball. Starting out with Danilo Gallinari at 6'10", 233 as a tight end. Most of these tight ends usually range in that height and weight for the most part. So we have Danilo Gallinari at 6'10", 233 as one of the tight ends. Be a big target for Mahomes. We have Steven Adams as a tackle at 6'11", 265 pounds. And SGA at 6'5", 180 pounds as one of the wide receivers. And the other wide receiver we have is Terrence Ferguson at 6'6", 190 pounds. And that would round out that mock draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're going to keep it moving. We're going to move over to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right, no longer the Oakland Raiders, no longer the Los Angeles Raiders. They are now the Las Vegas Raiders. For the Raiders, we're going to use the Sacramento Kings of the NBA for their draft. Looks like theirs is going to be pretty even. I will have Jabari Parker. I will pick Jabari Parker as one of the wide receivers at 6'8", 215 pounds. Also, at the wide receiver position, I would pick Kent Bazemore at 6'9", 195 pounds. Maybe that's 6'4", 195 pounds. I have him as one of the other wide receivers. Yeah, that's 6'4", 195 pounds. Tight end position, we have Marvin Bagley III at 6'11", 235 pounds. Another big body, which seems to be the trend of the tight ends in the NBA. Going over on the defensive side of the ball, we got Daquan Jeffries at 6'5", 230 pounds, filling in the position at the defensive back. De'Aaron Fox at 6'3", 185. We're going to sign him as a cornerback. Buddy Hield at 6'4", 220. Going to plug him in as a defensive back. So, according to my mock draft, I will have them pretty much even with 3 players from the offensive side of the ball, 3 players from the defensive side of the ball. Remember, let me know what you think in your opinion as far as these mock drafts are concerned in the comment section. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers, we pulling from that hefty roster of the Los Angeles Clippers. And we're going to cap it off with, or rather should I say start it off with Kawhi Leonard, 6'7", 225. I'm going to plug him in as a wide receiver. Also his counterpart, Paul George, is 6'8", 220. Plug him in as a wide receiver as well. That will be a dangerous receiving core right there with those two off the bat. Tight end, we're going to plug in Martellus Harrell at 6'7", 240. Pretty big guy. Once again, following that standard for the big tight ends. And we're going to take Reggie Jackson at 6'3", 208 as another slot receiver. So that will be a pretty dangerous receiving core with those three guys, combining Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Reggie Jackson. Going over on the defensive side of the ball, got Patrick Beverly. Yeah, you know he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball at 6'1", 180. And we got Lou Williams at 6'1", 175. And we're going to plug him in at the cornerback position as well. So with that being said, that's going to take care of the AFC West roster. So we're going to slide on over here and go over to the NFC West. So with the NFC West, we're going to kick it off with the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals out there in the desert. And we're going to start off with the offensive side of the ball with Aaron Baines at 6'10", 260 as a tackle. DeAndre Ayton, 6'11", 250 as another tackle. Wide receiver is going to be Jalen LeCroix at 6'4", 185. The wide receiver is Kelly Oubre Jr. at 6'7", 203. That's going to take care of their side of the ball from the offensive standpoint. Going over to the defense, we're going to have Eli Okobo at 6'3", 190 as a strong safety. And none other than Devin Booker at 6'5", 206. Going to plug him into the cornerback position. Moving on in the NFC West, we're going to move on to the Los Angeles Rams. That's right, the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody knows this is going to be stacked. So, according to my mock supplemental draft, with the Los Angeles Rams choosing from the Los Angeles Lakers, the big fella, King James, LeBron James at 6'9", 250, we would assign him the position of tackle. Anthony Davis, 6'10", 253, we plug him in as a guard on that offensive line, along with Dwight Howard at 6'10", 265. We plug him in as a guard on that offensive line as well. I'm picking Danny Green as one of the wide receivers. Actually, he's the only wide receiver that they'll be picking in this supplemental draft at 6'6", 215 pounds. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, two of the NBA's premier stoppers on the defensive end. We're going to have Avery Bradley at 6'3", 180. And we're going to have Markieff Morris as a defensive end at 6'8", 245 pounds. Looks like an all-star roster to me from an NBA standpoint and maybe from an NFL standpoint as well. So we're going to keep moving out west. We're going to go over to the San Francisco 49ers, who will be using that dynasty known as the Golden State Warriors. They'll be back, you know. But with the San Francisco 49ers, we're going to kick it off with the defensive side of the ball. Going to go with Kai Bowman at 6'1", 187 at cornerback position. Eric Pascal at 6'6", 255 as linebacker. And we're going to round out that linebacking core with the drafting of Draymond Green at 6'6", 230 pounds. Moving over to the offensive side of the ball, we can't forget Steph Curry at 6'3", 185. I think he'd be excellent at the wide receiving position. And keeping up with the same tone that we've been going with the tight ends, we got big fella Klay Thompson at 6'6", 215 pounds. And we're going to give him a Megatron type wide receiver in Kevon Looney at 6'9", 222 pounds. So definitely with those picks in this mock draft, I think they would add to that 49ers roster and make a heck of a lot of noise out west. Moving on, and not to be outdone, we're going to go to the Seattle Seahawks. That's right, the Seattle Seahawks out there in the state of Washington. My man, Russell Wilson, leading the way. And we will have them, since they don't have the Sonics anymore out there. Going to move on up the coast, or move on down the coast, and head on into Portland with the Portland TRAILBLAZERS roster available to them. And starting off with the first pick of the supplemental draft for them would be Carmelo Anthony. Once again, filling in that same mode of big bodies on the tight end positions. Got Carmelo Anthony at 6'8", 238. Got wide receiver C.J. McCollum at 6'3", 190. Zach Collins at 6'11", 250. We're going to plug him in as a tackle. Caleb Swanigan at 6'9", 260. We're going to put him on an offensive line as a big guard. Trevor Ariza, the veteran, we're going to assign him as the position of wide receiver at 6'8", 215 pounds. And I guess you're wondering where Damian Lillard is in all this. Got him playing that safety position at 6'2", 195. So that's going to conclude this portion of my mock supplemental draft between the NBA and the NFL. We took care of the NFC West and the AFC West. What we're going to be going over next is we're going to be going with the NFC South and the AFC South. Those will be our next divisions that we go over in this next segment of the NFL NBA supplemental mock draft. I'll talk to you then. Thanks for visiting. Goodbye.